Let's get into it. Coach Colin here, ladies and gentlemen. Joe Rogan calling out Bernie Sanders. But why couldn't he have said this to Bernie Sanders' face? Why couldn't he have called this out while sitting down with Bernie? Why sit down with Bernie and act like he is, as he puts it, even in this podcast, he calls him one of the most consistent guys with the most consistent message, and it's extremely rare. And why not call out this glaring inconsistency in what he's saying? I'm going to show you the clip, and then we're going to talk about it. Show you the clip, and then show you the clip of Bernie Sanders, because he gets grilled a little bit, because at least Fox News, they're willing to push back a little bit. Let's jump in.
Right, it is.
No. Don't jump in here. I'm about to jump into the other clip.
Mess. I miss being a teacher because I miss having that immediate impact. All the impact I make now, if I make any impact at all, feels very diffuse and far away because there's all these layers.
Yeah.
But I like to think that some of the bills I'm passing are at least helping teachers like me and students like mine.
That's beautiful. It's beautiful that you made that decision. And I think that's what we need. We need people that have legitimate personal real life experience with other people that are benefiting from certain social programs and certain things that should not be cut. I think there's too many wealthy people that are just very disengaged with everyone else. And that's a real concern. And they sort of huddle up in these elite groups and go to these elite meetings and have these conferences. They fly on private jets and try to figure out how the world should operate.
Or climate change on their private jets.
Fucking crazy. It's crazy. It's really crazy and gross. And I don't think it has anything to do with climate change. I think it's like a boys club, a weird club where these elite people get to hobnob and eat caviar together.
My point is, if you're going to a conference to discuss climate change, but you're taking your giant private jet.
I've seen Bill Gates justify that because of all his work that he does.
Sure.
Or even Bernie Sanders, when he's talking about campaigning.
Yeah.
And he was saying, how else am I going to go to all these different places? We go Southwest like fucking comedians do, dude. We travel all over the country too, buddy.
Southwest is great.
Yeah, listen, when I was traveling, I was doing a lot more dates than him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I never took private jets. Look, there's ways to do it. And the idea that there's only one way to do it, well, that's just the nicest way. It's certainly more convenient. It's easier. It's more comfortable if you got the money. But the idea that you're gonna preach to everybody else how to live their lives, like you're so disconnected from most people.
Well, I would say that I am probably the poorest member of the Texas legislature. And I'm not poor, but relatively speaking, most of the people I serve with, either very successful lawyers who own their own law practice, doctors and surgeons who
multi-millionaires who have hundreds of millions of dollars that are completely unexplained. He's talking about those types. Yeah, of course. But yeah, it's so funny. Do you guys know what he's talking about when Joe Rogan says Bernie Sanders jumping on private jets and everything? Do you know what he's talking about? I'm going to show you what he's talking about. But before I do, I kind of find it really funny that Joe Rogan's talking about this. Now, here's the thing. Joe Rogan's not some climate change guy where he's like, oh, how dare you? He's not doing all that stuff. But it was funny because I just saw an article and it was talking about how he has been pretty much on some mega yacht or like a super yacht or something. And he's with his wife and his kids, but it's like $600,000 a week to be on this yacht. And he's just like cruising around, and just it was just funny to hear that as I'm thinking of that article that I just read. But Joe Rogan's not a climate change nut whatsoever. But this gentleman right here is 100%. And this is what Joe Rogan was talking about, because Bernie Sanders was confronted about this private jet expenditure that he has going on.
Can we make it more efficient? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Isn't that what Doge was trying to do?
No, but Doge was you don't make it more efficient by laying off thousands of workers at the Social Security Administration so that seniors can't get their benefits and their concerns addressed in a timely manner. You don't make the system more efficient by threatening to lay off 83,000 workers at the Veterans Administration, which will clearly impact the health care that our veterans receive.
All right, last thing. You know, Alyssa Slotkin, senator from Michigan, she said you shouldn't be using oligarch. It's over people's head. You've gotten criticized from other people. Free Beacon says Bernie Sanders spent $221,000 on private jets fighting the oligarchy tour, paid for by friends of Bernie Sanders. That you've spent millions of dollars in campaign funds on private jet travel over the years. How do you push back on both of those things?
When's the last time you saw Donald Trump during a campaign mode at National Airport?
No, it doesn't. But he's also not fighting the oligarchy.
No. You run a campaign and you do 3 or 4 or 5 rallies in a week. The only way you can get around to talk to 30,000 people. Think I'm going to be sitting on a waiting line at United waiting, 30,000 people are waiting? That's the only way you can get around. No apologies for that. That's what campaign travel is about. We've done it in the past. We're going to do it in the future.
And you think that this is hitting a mark? You think it's scratching the itch that voters want to hear from?
I think at a time when the people on top are doing phenomenally well, when seniors, working class people are struggling, people want to hear action to stand up to the people who have the wealth and the power and create an economy that works for all of us, not just the people on top.
Private jets. What do you think? Who do you think I'm gonna be on in a waiting line with all these goyim? I'm gonna be around with all these goys sitting in line like some schmuck. What? Yeah, that's what we all thought. Of course. Of course that's what we all thought about you. You're fighting the oligarchy. You're talking about billionaires and people, wasteful spending and all this. Yeah, that's exactly what everybody thought. Everyone thought you were just on a regular commercial flight going from place to place. What? It's the only way. It's the only. Do you know how long? Let me tell you something. You know how long he has to be living like this? Do you know what kind of lifestyle you have to be accustomed to start saying things like taking a private jet is the only way to fly? I've never said that before. Okay? I've never said that before. Maybe one day you'll hear me say it. Oh, you guys shouldn't be really messing around with the, Spirit and the Delta and all this stuff. I don't know, man. The only way to go is private. I mean, it's not that much more. It's like $30,000 a trip. I mean, it's kind of worth it. I mean, come on. You know what I mean? There's this great guy. He has a plane. A lot of people have flown on it. His name's Jeffrey. I mean, you guys should really go and check this. No, obviously not. So apparently the socialist senator, his campaign spent nearly $230,000 on chartered private jet flights during the second quarter of 2025. As the senator continued to jet set the nation on his nationwide Fighting the Oligarchy tour, according to Federal Election Commission's records released Tuesday, campaign contracted exclusively Ventura Jets, a New York company that specializes in providing private airfare for the same sort of corporate leaders that Sanders has demonized since launching his tour in February. Sanders' private jet budget during the second quarter exceeded $222,000. That's crazy. That's nuts. And here's the thing. Here's the wild thing about that. I was just thinking of this while I was getting ready to do this video. Here's the thing. What was the Fighting the Oligarchy tour for? Am I the only one? Does everybody know? What was it for? What was the point of him and AOC traveling around, gathering up all these crowds to talk about fighting the oligarchy? What was the point of all that? Am I wrong? There was no point. There was no point whatsoever to that entire thing. It was for nothing. Listen, you think I'm crazy? You think I'm just doing crazy eyes over here? No, I looked into it. Okay? Of course I did. Fighting the Oligarchy Tour. It's a political rally series led by independent U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders, Democrat U.S. Representative AOC, aimed at opposing oligarchy and the influence of billionaires and corporations in U.S. politics. So it was for nothing. It was for nothing. They could have done this on Zoom. They could have done this on Zoom. I'm not crazy. That's the craziest part about this whole thing. It was not necessary. He spent just under $250,000 for no reason to talk in front of people and to say billionaires shouldn't be involved, while the side that they were supporting in the 2024 elections had the most billionaires involved. But there's just one billionaire, Elon, that they didn't like. And now Trump doesn't even like that billionaire. It was for nothing. I'm just saying. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. There was no need for it. He decided to jump on private jets just for fun. He gathered up all those people for no reason. It didn't do anything. There was no petitions to be signed. There was no website to go to. Nothing. There's probably only just an effort to get more donations so they can continue fighting the oligarchy. That's it. Oh, man, these guys are gaming the system on a level that you could not even fathom. It's crazy that somebody will be like, I'm a coach and I can show you how to lose weight. And the person's like, you're a grifter. You're a grifter. Another guy could be like, I just made this video and this video is just about what I learned from ChatGPT. And they're like, you're a grifter. And Bernie Sanders is like, I spent $250,000 on private jets because I'm trying to fight Donald Trump and I don't want to wait in line with the rest of you plebs. And we're like, he's a senator. He's a senator. It's fine. Oh my God. He's a grifter. He's a I didn't even use that. I don't even like that term. I don't like that term. But see, that's something. This is like to the degree that a grifter works. A grifter works like this. You know? People have called me a grifter. Buddy, grifters don't just use clips from people's shows and Fox News and CNN and all this stuff. And that's grifting. That's not what grifting is. Grifting is you get a bunch of money from lower class, middle class people. You gather it all up. You take money from corporations, although you say that you don't. But you can clearly see that you do. You gather up all that money. You say that you're going to fight the oligarchy because you feel like there's one in place. You tell the people to meet you at a certain place. They take the bus. They drive. Some of them have to walk. And you take a private jet. You land and you tell everybody how bad rich people are while you're a millionaire, and they donate more money to you to fight the rich, evil people. That is a grifter. That's what a grifter is. Be clear. Be clear. Because a lot of people use that word. I don't know why that word came back. It's like from the 1950s. Oh, that guy's a grifter over there. It's always millennial, Gen Z. You're always trying to bring words back. Don't worry about it. We have enough. You brought back grifter. For what? But that's what a grifter is. Anyways, guys, I just wanted to show you that really quick. I thought that was fun. Anyway, right here, boom, boom. Most recent upload and the tinfoil Speedo experience. Check that out. That is my long form interview show. We go from 2.5 hours all the way to 4.5 hours. I have like 12 episodes up. Go and check it out. I'm out.